What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in a car mechanic simulator with me, the virtual mechanic, and today's project, the Delray Winchester. Now, this is a stunning little car, little American land yacht. I do love it. It does have a beast of an engine in there, but we do have a few swap options today. We are going to switch to the V8 overhead valve 6P engine. I've not done one of these before, and it does come out coloured like the mag will. It does sit on a base yellow, but it does paint really well. We are going to stuff performance parts in that, make it as fast as we can, and make it look as cool and as good as we can with the coloured parting, probably matching it to the paint job or some sort of vinyl or livery. Now, I did go into the Steam workshop and I couldn't find any liveries for this one that anyone had created yet, so we're just gonna have to see what is in the base game. If not, do something cool with the paint, a bit over the top, maybe make some different colour wheels to go with it. These wheels are definitely not going to stick on it though. They are a bit boring, a bit disappointing, so we're not going to keep with them. We are going to swap them out to something new, but we are going to make this one look as cool as we can. There are no additional body parts for this one, I am afraid. Let's go into body tuning. It doesn't sit there. You do only get the base model stuff with it, which is a bit unfortunate, but it does mean we know what we're doing. Hopefully, by the looks of this, I can repair most of these panels because they don't look in too bad of a state. If we go back to this page here, body's only at 80%. The frame isn't even that bad, so this is actually looking quite nice all in all. So let's get it started. Let's get it over to the car wash and get this thing cleaned up. Here we are at the car wash. Now, we can already see it's a bit of like a mint or a light green underneath there, but let's get it cleaned anyway, get all this dust off. Let's have a look at you. Oh, I'd say that was like a peppermint green, and that is in really, really good condition, so we probably would be able to get away with repairing most of this. Obviously, we'll probably have to replace the windows and the lights, but that's not too bad. Let's get this interior cleaned up. We'll get it back on the lift and we'll get that engine ripped out and ready to work on. Let's have a look under here then. We do have no oil pan, which is a good thing. It means we don't have to use the oil drain. Let's get this beast of a gearbox out. Come with me. Let's get the... Oh my god, that was too far. Let's get the rear exhaust bits out. I think that's it for the underneath. Let's get the car back on the ground, if I can find my way around that pillar. Go grab the crane and let's get this engine lifted out, and we can start stripping this car down to its bare frame. Nice, it came out nice and easy. That is definitely good to see. Let's get you put away and let's start getting these body panels off. I'm going to crack on with this and we'll see what's repairable. I'll meet you at the repair bench in a few moments. So body wise, everything is stripped off. There is nothing left on this that is a replaceable panel. So let's go and see what of this is repairable. Looks like most of it. It really is only the license plate, the windows, and the lights that do need replacing. So that's good. I'm going to jump in and crack on with that, and I'll meet you back when we start stripping the underside of the car down. Nothing too fancy on this underside today then, just the upper and lower arms with the suspension and the cross-member subframe. Couldn't even say that then. At the back here, we've got leaf springs. I haven't done one of these in a little while. Most of them have been that weird config. I do quite like the leaf springs, just simple and basic, like it used to be. That's what I like to see. I'm going to get on. I'm going to crack on with this. First rusty bolt there. I'm going to crack on with this, get all of this torn down, and I'll meet you in the engine bay when we see what it's like in there. Oh, it is drum brakes, though. It's the only thing I don't like, drum brakes. I wish it was discs. Just finishing off the underside of the suspension here. As you can see, we only have that one thing in the engine bay, so let's just quickly get the car down on the ground. And I believe after this is everything on this car. It's just this in the engine bay. Yeah, that is everything on this car stripped down. So I'm going to buy all the replacement parts, repair what I can repair. I've already done all the body panels there, and then we'll start getting this lovely Delray Winchester back together. This beautiful land yacht all back together. I am going to stick with the same interior just because it matches the rest of the interior that's there. And I love this little lip where the curved window meets in to the curved boot there. Trunk, should I say. Looking absolutely fantastic. But let me get on. Let's get everything repaired or replaced and ready to go back on this beautiful car. Everything is stripped off this glorious Winchester. There is nothing left to take apart. There is nothing left to repair. Everything has been fixed or replaced, ready to go back on this lovely car. We just have this frame to sort out. It is at 72%, so it isn't too bad at all. But let's grab the welder. Let's get it up to 100%. This shouldn't cost a lot. 1,050, that isn't too bad. Let's get this all finished up, and then we can get this body all back together. Now, with the body panels on this, there is nothing special, nothing real special at all. So I'm just going to get on and get it all back together, and with the magic of television, or YouTube, next frame you'll see, it'll all be back on. Ta-da! Well, here it is, all back together, still in this lovely green. As you can see, I didn't have to replace any of the panels. I just had to replace the windows and the lights because they're the only things you can't repair on the standard cars. It is looking lovely, but let's head it over to the paint shop and pick a lovely colour and maybe a livery if there are some standard ones in game to go on this lovely Delray Winchester. Here it is then, the Delray Winchester in this lovely light blue with the contrasting dark bluey sort of purple colour stripe going front to back. Looking really smart with the grey and the white just in there. I think it looks really nice. I think it really pings off with the wood and the cream interior. I keep trying to say tan. It's not tan, it's cream. But it looks fantastic. Inside the engine bay there is all in a body match blue, which looks really sweet. I'm happy with that. What we're going to do with the paint, now obviously I am going to colour match the engine because it's me and that's what I like to do. I'm going to try and colour match it with a bit of both of these two blues. We've got the light blue and the dark blue there. I have tried my best to match this colour. It is hard-ish to match colours on the stripes. I've tried my best to match it. I hope it turns out well. But let's jump over to the suspension and see how that's turned out with a mix match colour on there like this. See if it looks any good, and I'll see you in a few moments. I have painted everything. It is all ready to go back on the car. Let's just take a quick look at these. I've gone for the light blue on the shock and the dark blue on the springs. And I think they look pretty sick. I'm happy with how they've turned out. The light blue definitely matches the car. But does the dark blue match the stripe? That's the thing I think I struggled with the most. So let's get them on the car. And let's see how this all looks. I'm quite loving the look of this Delray Winchester at the moment. Let's get it in. I've got a few bits painted, nothing special. Obviously, I've gone for the dark blue subframe. I say nothing special. I have actually painted everything that needs painting on this underside. So I'm going to get on. I'm going to get a few of these bits done, and I'll come back to you when we're seeing some of the cool painted bits. That's one side of the front end done. And obviously, I've gone for the light blue on the upper suspension arms. The dark blue on the lower matches the dark blue subframe. A light blue wheel hubcap, which makes no difference because the wheel covers it up. And I think that looks pretty good altogether. Again, the brake calipers, that is meant to be the dark blue. But actually, I think it's meant to be the light blue. But it never works out colour-wise on the brake calipers. I don't know why. They just don't like accepting colour very well. So I may swap these out for just a basic black or something like that. I'm undecided yet. But I'm going to move on to the backside and let's get some things on there and show you some of the cool stuff that looks painted on there. Back end is looking pretty sweet. We've got obviously the drive axle in the dark blue there, the leaf spring plate in the dark blue, and then all of this stuff in the light blue. I think it's looking really sweet. I'm happy with how it has turned out. Let me just get the rest of this back on here. There isn't too much to go now, obviously, with these drum brakes. This is one thing I do wish was implemented in the game, would be the way just to in-game, rather than in a config file, swap out drum brakes for disc brakes, because I just don't really like them. I don't like the way they're built up or anything like that. I wish they were discs. I'm going to get on, I'm going to get the rest of this finished, and I'll meet you back at the engine. Oh, I'll meet you back at the engine bay. All the underside is now back on in its glorious colour self. I've left the brake calipers as they were. Not the best, but the rest of it colour matching. I really like how it's come out. It's hard to tell the dark blue against the stripe. There's not really a good angle to get both from. I think the best is probably here. And it's still hard to tell because it's all shadowy under there and you've got all the light reflecting off the top there. But I'm happy with how it turned out. I think it looks really good. Let's jump in. Let's get this engine bay sorted, ready for this new engine. Now, some of you are probably aware that I haven't stripped down the old engine. And there's a reason for that, because I'm simply just not going to use it. So I will strip it down later on. you know, separately, and then I'm just going to scrap it all for parts because I don't need any of it. I don't want to keep any of it, so I'm just going to scrap it all anyway. So I thought, you've seen me take apart V8 engines before on this channel. You've probably taken apart of many of them yourself, so there's no point showing you all of that all over again. But one thing I do want you to see is the fuse box here, which is actually perfectly matched color-wise. For a change, it never normally works out that way. But next up, let's go and get this beast of an engine built. Now, obviously, I have swapped the engine. I'm not sticking with the standard engine. I'm swapping it out to the 6P engine. So let's go get started with that. It is lovely painted to a glorious colour. I hope you guys do like it. Obviously, the base is this light blue. Most of it is in this light blue. Some of it is in the dark blue on the top layers, but I'll show you all that in a few moments. I'm going to get on and get most of this together, and I'll see you in a minute. Most of this engine is finished, just the last few bits to go on. Now, these are the sort of dark, I've already got a few dark bits on here, but nothing special. Now, these are the darker bits that are going to theoretically match the stripe, and I really hope they do. I've gone for, obviously, the engine covers here, on both sides. Looking pretty snazzy. I think they look pretty sweet. Obviously, the air filter cover as well is already in that dark blue, and I've done the cables in a light blue, and I think it looks pretty sick just standing on its own. You can see the blue does match the car, which is glorious to see even from here. But that is it, finished built. So let's get it on the car. On the car? Let's not put it on the car. Let's get it in the car. Hopefully, there's a better place to put it. Let's go and grab that crane, and then we'll see how well it all matches up. Hopefully, it looks really good. I think it looks great on the stand, but will it look great in the car? So let's get you put away, and I think that looks pretty sick. I'm happy with how that's turned out. That looks incredible. Very, very happy with that. Let's get that bonnet closed. You got the light blue and the dark blue on there, looking pretty sweet. And then obviously with that bit on there, you can really see where the dark blue goes in. I am happy with how that turned out. That looks incredible. Next up, let's pick some wheels and get these windows tinted. Now, I am probably just going to go for a black tint on this. I did blue on blue once before, and it looked absolutely terrible, so I won't be doing that again. Not too much of a dark tint, because I do like this interior. But let's jump on. I'm going to pick some wheels, and I'll see you guys in a few moments. Well then, everybody, the Delray Winchester is completely finished, looking incredible. Now, the things you haven't seen are obviously these wheels. I went for the Winchester wheels. I think they look incredible with some white wall tyres, only the thin stripe white wall tyres. These wheels are 20 inches. They do have a 305 profile, 305 width with a 40 profile all the way around, and I think they look great on all four corners of this vehicle. Looking absolutely stunning. I've obviously finished the gearbox. I've done all the liquids as well, and that engine just looks absolutely stunning. I'm so happy with how this car turned out. I did tint the windows black. I did toy with white, but it was too much. It was way too much. And obviously this windscreen is black, but it does only have a 40% coverage rather than the 100% on the back and sides here. But I think it looks absolutely great. I'm happy with these white wheels with the white walls. I don't think it's too much. I did put blue on, and it was definitely too much. I'd even tried the dark blue, and it was just, I don't know, it didn't look right, so I decided to change it out for these whites. I wish these bumpers could be painted. That's the only thing I don't like. I'd love to have these body matching on here instead of just in the chrome colour. I'd love to have them body matched. I think they'd look absolutely incredible. This interior as well, just the wood panelling on the doors and on the steering wheel there. It looks absolutely great with this cream interior. It looks absolutely lovely. I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. But let's jump in this one and see how she sounds. Very retro interior in here. I love it. That's a nice grumble. I'll try not to move around too much. It is your pretty standard V8 engine. Nothing overly special with this one, although it does have a nice idle grumble. I do like that. Anyway, let's put it on the dyno and see what it can do. So we started off with 343 horsepower on this Delray Winchester. With the 6P engine, obviously we did swap that out. We have had a gain of 286, which is 84%, which is pretty good actually, bringing our total up to 628 horsepower. That's quite a good increase, there we go, from that 6P engine, which is looking stunning in that engine bay, and it's also got the horsepower just about to match. Let's put it onto the track and see what it can do. Here we are then at the track with our new 628 6P V8. I have pit slicks on the back of this one just to help it stick to the track. So let's see if it works. Definitely doing a lot better than when I didn't have slicks on it on my first attempt. The slicks definitely help, ladies and gentlemen. They definitely help. What is this car going to top out to? I have pit 7 gears in this, which is not what you would normally get from a Buick Riviera. I mean the Delray Winchester. But let's see what top speed we can get up to. Come on, can we break the 400? No. 379. I mean, it's a very respectable speed from a Lanyard. I'll take 379 kilometers an hour. Here she is then, everybody, the Delray Winchester, all finished off, based off a 71 Buick Riviera. This is a 71 itself, obviously, just for effect. I really love how this engine has turned out. Looks wise and obviously performance, it wasn't that bad either. Yeah, with a top speed of 379 kilometers an hour, that does pit it 22nd out of the 39 cars we have done on this channel. Now, on the last video, Monday's video, when we did the Duesenberg, I forgot to include its speed or its position in the leaderboards. Its speed was 322, I think, which did pit it 30th at the time. Obviously now with this car, it does pit it 31st, which was still quite respectable for that old school car from the 1930s. Anyway, back to this Delray Winchester. Now, bearing in mind I didn't take apart that engine and sell it or rebuild it, I built a brand new engine for it. So I did spend quite a bit on this car today. Everything new I bought was $42,872, including repairing parts, and I bought the car for $18,997, which puts our total spend for today on the lovely Delray Winchester at $61,869. Now, I have already seen today's sale figure, and I know it's not quite what it's up to be, so let's just dive in and have a look at that. Obviously, we had a lot of miles. We did manage to squeeze a bit more horsepower out of this engine, bearing in mind we did swap it from the one carb overhead valve to the 6P engine. But money-wise, not that great. Total sale price, $77,154, minus our $61,869, pits our profit at $15,285, which is a bit of a shame, but it was fun, and I do love how this car looks. It is an absolute stunner. It is just such a beautiful long land yacht. But it is time to say goodbye to it, so let's get that one back up. Goodbye, Delray Winchester. It was a pleasure working on you. You were fun. Now, normally at this point, I would jump back in the garage and say what I'm working on next time. But I don't have anything in the garage today, and that is because the Land Rover DLC is coming out tomorrow. Those of you who know, probably looking forward to it, probably have been waiting on this one for a little while. This billboard has been here for ages. I know I've been looking forward to it. I am recording this video on Tuesday, so I do have a bit longer to wait. But if you're watching this video when it come out, this DLC drops tomorrow, February the 3rd. I hope you guys are all going to jump in, have a go, see what ones you can find, see what ones you enjoy. What one would you like to see me work on at first? Hopefully on Thursday when this comes out, I will be able to jump in. Hopefully get one. I'll probably be in and out of the junkyard, in and out of barns, in and out of the auction, just trying to find one to work on. Maybe I'll find all 4 and I'll be able to do a quick showcase before I put them away and work on one for the video. But which one would you like to see me work on first? Leave your comment down below. And that is it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, do consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It really does help me out. But thank you all so much for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.